Without further ado, the time is now. Welcome back to Jracoworld. Live coverage, final results. Or will they be the final results? We shall see. We might get a fucking nuclear bomb if it goes the other way tomorrow morning. So let's see what we got here, huh? Huh?
Okay.
Live coverage brought to you by Jracoworld.
Right
Tune in now.
like she's keeping her seat.
Or forever hold your
Stay with
peace.
us. We'll be right back.
I'm Anna Garcia right now on True Crime News.
What is your emergency?
It's my neighbor. I think he's totally dead.
A well-known Las Vegas
It's
reporter
my neighbor.
murdered.
He wasn't afraid to step on the rich and the powerful.
The suspect, easy to spot in
I hope that this is like the coverage that I'm looking for here, but I'm not too sure, so
The thing that would cause someone to be killed.
I think it is, but we'll see.
A vibrant singer.
Interviews and video from Fox 7 anytime on our connected TV app, Fox Local. It's free to download on Fire
Quality,
TV,
the
Apple,
fuck?
Android, and Roku.
For the latest election results, of course, head on over to our website, fox7austin.com.
We will have more election coverage on Good Day Austin starting at 4:30 tomorrow morning.
Have a great night.
Let's see it.
J.D. Vance becomes the vice president. That means he's the tiebreaker. That means Republicans would have control.
All right,
of
well,
the Senate in that
11:59.
scenario.
Come on, baby.
As you can see here, there are still lots of these seats up for grabs, and they are in competitive states, and Andy. So we're looking at states like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Montana. These are all states where Democrats are facing tough challenges, and as you can see, they're all leaning red right now. So it's looking like it's very, very difficult to imagine a path where the Democrats maintain control of the Senate. I think we have Rich Rubino standing by. He's somebody that I've been speaking to over the weeks. We've been talking about what the most consequential
now from Fox. As you can see, she might be stepping away from the podium.
Oh, yeah, she's stepping away.
But Austin, let's get back to your
Get her out of
comments.
there.
Let's bring in Rich Rubino right now because Amy Klobuchar.
Yeah, she's stepping away because they're
wrapping up
about to
that speech.
fucking
She
hack
just
the
earned,
election, dude.
The title there
That's
in that
exactly
Senate
what's
seat,
about to happen.
retaining that seat over Royce Wine. Let's bring
Oh,
in
no, sorry. I
Rich
thought that
Rubino
was,
right now, political analyst. Again, thank you so much for joining us.
Our girl.
Austin was breaking it down very great about the balance of power, what we're seeing right now. What do we make of the landscape on this election night, Rich?
Couple things. It's very competitive right now, and Republicans seems to be having an advantage. A state like Pennsylvania, I think that the thought process was that Senator Casey probably would eke out another term. He was elected in 2006. He actually defeated incumbent Rick Santorum, and then he was reelected in 2012, reelected in 2018. Now it looks like there's a possibility he may lose that seat. Ohio. That was a state that Sherrod Brown had to run ahead of the national ticket. He had to run ahead of Vice President Harris, and he had to distance himself from the party. In many respects, he tried to hug President on issues like President Trump, that is, and issues like trade. This is a state that the last two elections went 8 points for Donald Trump. This time around, it looks like he was not able to do that, and he apparently lost that race. Montana is an interesting race because Steve Daines is the chairman of the Republican Senatorial Campaign Committee, and he is the other senator from Montana, and he's really made this kind of his flagship race, defeating his colleague from Montana, John Kasich, a state that won about 16 points last time for Donald Trump.
You got enough
He's
books
really
behind you,
somewhat of a
dude?
survivor, having been elected and reelected there.
Jesus.
And I'd like to remind the audience, why
The
are we
fuck did
talking
he
about
just
this
say?
so much? Why is the balance of power in the Senate critical to how powerful a president we're talking about?
Well, in order for the president to get his legislation passed, it has to pass both the House of Representatives and the United States Senate. There are other things presidents can do unilaterally. There are executive agreements he can negotiate with other countries, and he can he can certainly negotiate with
Live
other countries.
chat.
And he can
Hey, if you got
certainly
some
sign
thoughts or
executive orders. But for
feelings
the most part, he
on
needs
X or
he
YouTube,
needs
why
the
don't you
compliance of the
throw them
House
in
of
the chat
Representatives and the
there
United
so
States
for
Senate.
all to
And
see?
at some point in the
And
United
if you
States
chat on
Senate,
Kick, it'll
there
show
might be
up
a
on the
movement by
screen.
Donald Trump to try to get rid of the filibuster if they have all Republicans agreeing on that. The filibuster essentially makes it harder for legislation to
The
get through because you need
filibuster
60 votes really
essentially
instead
makes
of
it
50.
harder for
Yeah,
things
let
to
me ask you
go
about
through
that
the
because
way
you
that you
mentioned some
thought
of
they would.
the things that could be in place if it is a Republican White House, but also a red House and Senate. How consequential could
House.
that be?
Who the
Very
fuck are these
consequential. It
guys?
could be very much that they're going to be butting heads. You'll have Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries from New York, central left Democrat, taking on the Republican Majority Leader. It could be Rick Scott, who was just handily reelected tonight, the senator from Florida, or it could interestingly be John Thune. John Thune was a senator from South Dakota, and in 2004, he was elected against Tom Daschle. Tom Daschle was the incumbent Democrat, and Tom Daschle was at the time the Senate Majority Leader. And part of the message he had was that he could do more for South Dakota as a leader of the United States Senate than a freshman senator. Now we have a scenario where probably the front runner is John Thune, and John Thune himself could become the
I don't
majority
know who
leader
this
of the
guy
United
is,
States
by the
Senate.
way, but
So one of those two, those are of course
in my headset
the
right
case of
now,
John Thune, he's very much kind of an
I have to
establishment
fucking make
Republican.
fun of him.
It'll be interesting to see if Donald Trump is elected, how he will
It'll be
deal with
interesting.
Donald Trump is obviously demonstrably popular with the conservative base and certainly with Republicans in South
And
Dakota.
certainly
He
with
really needs to
Republicans.
use Congress in order to get any
Sorry,
legislation
dude.
passed.
Now I
The
don't like
interesting
him.
schism between the establishment Republican Party, Mitch McConnell and John Thune, and kind of the insurrectionist,
Get on with,
if you will, of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance.
We're still awaiting some pertinent race calls in battleground states on the presidential race side. We'll get to that in a moment, Rich, but I just want to ask
wonder
you
what
in
these
general,
guys
if
have been
history
doing all day.
is any indicator, how long could it take before we know the balance of power in the lower chamber, the House?
It usually takes a long, assuming it's a close race like this, it can take a long time because there are a lot of races that are going to be very close. The state of Maine, for example, they use instant runoff voting or ranked choice voting. So they have one congressional race in the second district of Maine, which would be very competitive. That could take a while for them to count. But there are usually a couple of congressional districts that it can take 2-3 weeks to go until
he's
they
got
finally
fucking one tooth,
have
dude.
a winner of that race. If it's going to be very close, I think that obviously the races that are close, they're close for a reason because they're usually in very competitive congressional districts. A lot of those are in upstate New York or in the suburbs of New York City, as well as many of them out in California.
Is it? What is it?
My guesses are probably going to be about 10 seats that are probably going to take a while until we actually find out who the winner is going to be, and there's probably going to be 1 or 2 seats. They might not find out till January.
All right, it's going to be a while for that. Some of the states we've heard being called already. Some other ones are going to be taking quite some time. And one that might take quite some time is the Senate race in Pennsylvania. I want to put up this just as we continue to get votes in here. This one in Pennsylvania, Dave McCormick going against Bob Casey, a 3-term incumbent. We've already seen Sherrod Brown eventually lose his battle in Ohio to Bernie Moreno. What do we make of some of these flips? Because some of these guys have been in Congress for quite some time. Dave McCormick right now a 2-point lead. What do we make of this, Rich, in Pennsylvania, in Ohio, and also Montana with John Tester potentially losing?
I forgot.
What do we make of some of these flips?
There's other states.
What we're making of it, I think, is that kind of Democrats who are in, not the case of Pennsylvania, but certainly the case of Ohio and Montana. There's no longer split ticket voting. It used to be that you could elect the president from one party and then a member of the House of Representatives or a senator from the other party. And this is particularly true with Democrats. There's only 5 Democrats right now who represent congressional districts that were won by Donald Trump. And there's a very strong possibility that 4 of those 5 congressional districts at the end of the night could go toward the Republicans. There are just very few people that were so bifurcated that actually split their vote. I think Sherrod Brown, he's certainly won in the past, going back 2006, 2012, 2018, all which were years that were advantageous for the Democrats. 2024 apparently is not advantageous for the Democrats. And it's something that I think will certainly, and I think it certainly has deleterious effects on Sherrod Brown running for re-election. He was a very much a kind of unique Democrat, very much anti-free trade, someone who's very much of a populist. In the case of Pennsylvania, very interested because I thought Senator Casey was going to be the favorite. I thought he probably was going to pull it out. but obviously there was a upswell, and there was certainly probably some coattails, if you will, by President Trump. Every time Trump held a rally, just about, he brought Mr. McCormick up on the stage and would present him and say, "This is a Senate nominee. We want you to vote for him as well." And it looks like, all things being equal, that's apparently what had happened in the Keystone State.
All right, we're going to get back to you, Rich, in just a little bit. Thank you so much for your time. But let's quickly shift gears and talk about that in Pennsylvania right here on Live Now from Fox. We're seeing stepping up to the podium more election officials, their city commissioners.
Someone, did you hear that? Someone just cracked a fucking beer in the background.
Let's listen into what they have to say here on Live Now.
We will not stop until we are finished. Thank you.
We will not stop until we're finished.
So it's still hard to predict turnout. But what we do know is of the 202,000 mail ballots that we've received, not all of those will count because some of them are unsigned or undated. But we will have another update of mail ballots later this evening, and we're going to continue updating the in-person results as they're coming in.
Do you know what divisions are still outstanding?
Well, again, we will report them as they come in. Again, election night, yes, a lot of logistical challenges. You got everybody just receiving all the results. So we will post them up on our website. Thank you.
Look. You gonna try to walk away again?
Do you want to repeat?
Oh, sure. So our mail results, 202,713. The polling place numbers were 437,427. And our posted mail results that we have on the website is 165,000. And again, our website is vote.phila.gov/results. And we will post them on a rolling basis, and we will continue until we stop. So we're done. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, dude. Get out of here.
An update there from officials in Philadelphia talking about this, how they'll post updates in a rolling basis, as this is one of the most critical states. Live picture right now, courtesy of the AP.
It's funny how the most critical states just can't figure out how to get their counting done in a timely manner.
To 48.1 in terms of that, the U.S. Senate race there, the incumbent Bob Casey, an uphill battle against Dave McCormick. All right, we're following this very, very closely. I do want to give you some race calls really quickly before we get to an interesting one. In Hawaii, this one going in favor of Vice President Kamala Harris, the check mark next to her name, 4 electoral votes as it just closed. Polls just closed on that side. Also, the U.S. Senate there in Hawaii going for Mazie Hirano. So that is in terms of the Senate in Hawaii. Yeah. Just wanted to bring you that. And we're also following right now in Nebraska, Deb Fischer taking officially the check mark over Dan Osborne, 51.5%. 48.5%. So Deb Fischer, the Republican there. And Austin, I'm going to bring you into the conversation right now because this was a big one. Not a surprising one, but a big one. Can you talk about the meaning behind this?
This was a surprisingly competitive race. The independent in this race did put up a fight. Nonetheless, we are seeing that this seat is going to stay red. Yeah. What that means is that we now have 51 Republicans confirmed to have control of the Senate. 51 means no matter what, it doesn't matter who wins the presidency, it doesn't matter who's vice president, it doesn't matter who is the tiebreaker in the Senate, the Republicans are going to control the upper chamber. There is still a question as to how much control they'll have, how many more seats can they pick up. There's still some battlegrounds. Montana, that's going to be a steep challenge for John Tester in Montana. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. I'll just cycle through these really quick here before we bring in Rich Rubino. So as far as the Senate goes in Wisconsin, 78% of the votes have been counted, and we're looking at just over a 2 percentage advantage for Eric Hovde. Talking about Michigan, that's Mike Rogers versus Alyssa Slotkin. Rogers right now has just over a 4-point lead, not even half of the votes tallied yet in Michigan. The final one I'll tease out here is Pennsylvania. As you were just talking about there, Andy, McCormick right now has just over a point lead 84% of those votes tallied. So the question is no longer which party will gain control of the Senate. The question is, how much control will Republicans have?
All right, very good, Austin. Thank you so much. As you just heard, GOP will control the Senate, but we want to take you out to a Senate seat that did go blue today, and that is in California. As we're following this, as Adam Schiff takes this one over Steve Garvey, the famous Dodgers player, Padres player. He is currently at the podium making this concession speech there in the Golden State of California. Let's listen in to what he has to say.
Because you have truly been the wind beneath our wings. And we love you for that. But there's one thing, I see a little blue in the audience tonight. And I assume you're at the wrong party, but I think that you're still celebrating that Dodger World Championship. You know, winning the World Championship for this 24 team was amazing. So proud of the boys, fighting at all times, playing when they're injured and didn't feel well. And then winning in Game 5 at Yankee Stadium. If you can't win at home, winning at Yankee Stadium is the next best thing. And, of course, the 81 World Championship, and you remember the great infield with Say and Russell and Lopes and myself and Dusty Baker. And, oh, you're all going, oh, I remember those guys.
All right, Steve Garvey, even though he did have to concede, he was noting the win by the Dodgers, so maybe a little bit of a silver lining for him in terms of that. So we're following that, and just as we said, it's Adam Schiff stepping up to the podium as he did take this Senate seat in California, moving chambers from the House to the Senate. Listen in to his victory speech here on Live Now.
And appreciate our different backgrounds and cultures. I've seen it firsthand. From the first day I launched this campaign to the visits I've made to nearly every corner of the Golden State. From meeting with local leaders in the border community of Calexico to seeing the restoration of redwoods north of Willits. I've met the most amazing people all across California. I've listened to your concerns, I've heard your fears, I've shared your hopes, and imagined the future that you want to see for yourselves and for your children. And because of this, every day I woke up energized and hopeful. In Bakersfield, I met with entrepreneurs who turned their passion into successful small businesses that had lifted up their communities. In Salinas, I heard from farm workers who toiled in the fields from sunrise to sundown, rain or shine, to ensure that families across the country had food on their tables. In Oakland, I felt the joy and energy of an early morning service at the Allen Temple Baptist Church. In Merced, I sat down with college students and heard about the careers they were building for themselves. In Lakewood, I saw firsthand the hard and rewarding labor of child care providers. I witnessed their patience, their kindness, and the love that they bring to their work. Our state has its struggles, like every state, but none are insurmountable because we are the Golden State and we get big things done. And my promise to you is that I'm going to deliver on day one, week one, year one, and keep on delivering for this amazing state. Because together there is no challenge that we cannot overcome. We leave no community behind. We do not stop. We do not rest until all our citizens have a safe place to live, clean water to drink, clean air to breathe, safe neighborhoods to raise their children, good hospitals, clinics, and health care, and the best public schools in the world. In pursuit of this dream for all our people, I will not rest.
Oh, what's this guy reading the fucking cue card?
And voice for all Californians,
Oh,
whether
no, this
you
guy's
voted for me
Republican,
or
isn't he?
not. Whether you
no,
live in the big
Democratic.
city or a small county, whether you grew up here or came to America searching for a better life.
That guy in the back's
We
like,
are going to build more affordable housing so that you aren't forced to choose between your rent and putting food on the table. We are going to ensure that our fellow neighbors do not have to sleep on the street. We are going to help hardworking families by lowering costs. We are going to fight tooth and nail to protect abortion access and defend democracy and our freedoms. We are going to bring resources and jobs back to the Golden State to create opportunity for all Californians.
I know.
We're going to fight on behalf of our dream workers, our farm workers, our immigrant families, so they no longer have to live in the shadows. We are going to protect our planet, fight climate change, and bring good-paying green jobs here to California. It is a big task, I know, but we can do it because we are going to do it together. I am determined to fight every single day.
Why does he keep looking down at his
great people.
at his
and
desk?
I am so thankful for your trust and your support, and I can't wait to do this job with you together. I want to thank my incredible wife, Eve, and yes, we are Adam and Eve.
Oops. Oh, yeah. Woo!
My kids, Lexi and Eli. Lexi's boyfriend, Eric, gets a shout out. My brother, Daniel, and his wife, Amy. My brother, David, and his family. My nieces and my nephews.
That
and
Chinese
of course,
guy in the back
the
might
one
be
the world
fucking
revolves
infiltrated.
around, baby Maya. I could not have done this without your endless love and support, and it's so wonderful to get to celebrate with you tonight. Eve, I don't know where to begin, but this Adam would be lost without this Eve. I love you, and I'm grateful to you for your strength and love. Lexi and Eli, being your dad is my favorite job in the world. I love you, and I am so proud of you. And I also want to acknowledge my mother and father, Cheryl and Ed Schiff.
All right, let's go,
While
buddy.
they're no longer with us, I wouldn't be standing here but for their love and guidance and support. My father lived to be 96. He passed earlier this year. And I so wish he could be here with us tonight. Dad, give Mom a hug and tell her I hope she's still not upset with me for not being a doctor. I also want to thank every volunteer and supporter who made calls, sent texts, knocked on doors, and chipped in.
Hey, it's a good story, but
hard work
I
not
just can't
only
believe it.
made this Senate race possible,
I don't
but
really
you
know
are going
about
to
this guy.
deliver the House of
His wife is
Representative
throwing it
majority
all
to
off in the
Hakeem
background
Jeffries
there.
tonight.
That's Eve. That chick in the back.
And I want to thank Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, yeah, you lost me,
The
dude.
most incredible speaker in
The
our
greatest of
history.
all time. Where's
For
she
her
at?
friendship, her mentorship, her leadership. There
She's
was
on the
no one who
oxygen at her
stood more in
curve.
the breach defending our democracy than Nancy Pelosi, and I thank you. We set out to build the largest grassroots campaign in California history, and I think we hit the mark. To my wonderful staff, I thank you. You are all dedicated public servants who've committed countless hours, nights, weekends to this effort, and this victory is also yours. To my wonderful constituents in the 30th
my
Congressional
fucking
District
God,
who have
dude.
supported me for over 25 years, I cannot thank you enough for your confidence and the honor of representing you. I hope that I have served you well and made you proud. And to my new constituents all over the state, whether you
Looks like
voted
this
for me
guy
or
might
not,
be trying to
I am
run for
committed to being a
president, huh?
champion
With
for
this
every
speech.
Californian in every corner of this wonderful state. California, I thank you for your trust. I am grateful to serve as your U.S. Senator. Now, let's get to work. Thank you, California. Thank you, everyone. God bless this state and country. Thank you so much.
That was just Adam Schiff there alongside his wife, Eve. After securing this, the Senate seat left by the late Dianne Feinstein. So you can see a happy Adam Schiff there on there, but also talking about how his hope for Hakeem Jeffries to be the majority leader in terms of the House of Representatives. Of course, we're following that, the latest here on Live Now from Fox in terms of that Senate seat. I do want to talk more about another race call we have in terms of Nebraska and what they do it. Another electoral vote going in the tally for Vice President Kamala Harris as she secured the District 2 votes.
84%
coming in.
estimated
So
votes
to 230
counted.
to 210 right now.
All
Just
right.
20 minutes past the top of the hour, 12:20 a.m. Eastern time. So we're following the latest.
I don't know how much I believe that there, but
Fox. We're going to get
sure.
out to more of this in terms of the race for the White House. A live look there in West Palm Beach, Florida. As you can see, some of the excitement, some of the vibes on
Let's
this
get
hand.
Trump on camera here.
The microphone still set up in the very front of this. I don't know how soon we could see any speakers, but also at Howard University on that campus, the alma mater.
Wow.
We'll continue to follow the latest with this race for the White House. I'm Andy Mack. We're back after this.
Does your student loan payment make you cringe? We get it. Saying goodbye to that much money every month can be tough, but by refinancing to a lower rate through Credible.com,
Are we for
you
real?
can drastically cut your monthly payments. At Credible, you get personalized rates from multiple lenders, so it's easy to find the refi that puts the most cash back in your pocket. And life with extra cash is, well, extra. Visit Credible.com now to see your new monthly student loan payment. Does your student loan payment make you cringe? We get it. Saying goodbye to that much money every month can be tough, but by refinancing to a lower rate through Credible.com, you could drastically cut your monthly payments. At Credible, you get personalized rates from multiple lenders, so it's easy to find the refi that puts the most cash back in your pocket. And life with extra cash is, well, extra. Visit Credible.com now to see your new monthly student loan payment.
All right, dude.
Welcome to Augusta Vin Winery,
Holy
a premier
shit.
Texas Hill country winery. Augusta Vin isn't just another stop on the way to Fredericksburg. It's a destination.
Do we have anything other than this? Unfiltered. Why is it all fucking Fox 7 Austin? Look at those UFOs, those UAPs flying around out there. Whoa, Bernie Sanders is still kicking.
All right, welcome back into Live Now from Fox. Just past midnight on the East Coast, and we're learning now from the Harris campaign, of course, potentially some uncertainty or turbulence within that Harris campaign, despite what we're seeing on the campus there at Howard University at this watch party. As we're continuing to follow the race for the White House, let's bring in right now to the conversation to learn more about what we're hearing, what we're reporting, what Fox is reporting. Christina Evans. Christina, thank you so much for joining us. Break it all down. What are we hearing, and maybe are there some nervous feelings inside that Harris camp?
Break it down, Shorty.
Yeah, Andy, I think you'd be right when you say the nervous feelings maybe are going out throughout the Harris camp. Again, I want to show you, again, inside of our social studio here at Live Now, we've been keeping a close eye on all of those storylines that are popping up online, and this is one of them. This memo going out
Jracoworld.
to several Harris campaign members as well.
No.
What you're looking at right now is a tweet from Nandita Bose. She's a reporter with Reuters, but this is a screenshot of an email that was sent out. Harris's campaign chair, Jen O'Malley Dillon, sent this message out and stressing patience.
Hey, if
and
you're
resolve.
watching right now, why don't you throw something in the chat? Who's going to win?
And it was also meant
Is
for
it going to
some
be
who
that
are
Kamala
outside the
girl or
campaign
is it
who
going to be
are
Trumpy?
hopeful for the Democratic Party, trying to give a sense of hope. She does say in this email that as we've known all along, this is a razor-thin race. So right now, the Democratic Party and the Harris campaign is planning
Razor-thin,
on waiting
huh?
out the blue wall of states. We know this is Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Those are the states that they're calling to be Harris's path to victory. But right now, none of those states have been called as of yet. The only battleground state that's been called is, of course, North Carolina. But those blue wall states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, have not been called. And this is what the Harris campaign is now holding out for. Again, making this memo known on social media, as well as sending it out directly to those campaign people who are working for Vice President Kamala Harris, saying at the end of it, Jen O'Malley Dillon saying, get some sleep. We're looking forward to tomorrow, because they don't anticipate these results until until the early morning hours.
Okay.
So, Andy, that's what we're seeing
All right,
now on
well,
social
that's
media
it for
as it pertains
Jracoworld.
to Kamala Harris's campaign.
Yeah, if the results continue
We
to go
can
the
only
way they
hope
do, I don't know how
for the
much
best
sleep
here.
those people within the campaign will be able to get. Christina, thank you.
I
though,
thought
for that
this
great
was
reporting.
gonna. I
As always.
totally forgot. I'm on
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much.
I
Let's
say I'm not
continue
gonna
on
say that,
discussing
but
this, the latest in that
I'm a little
turbulence
bit
within
early.
potentially that
Is what
camp as well.
we can
I do wanna put
sum it
this
up
tweet
to.
from
But
Jackie Heinrich
thank you
talking
all
about this
for
here on Live
tuning
Now from
in.
Fox,
I
talking about
appreciate
three
it.
sources close to Harris are expressing concern over Harris's path
Good
to
luck
victory. It may be
to
too
whoever
narrow
you
to
may have voted
overcome.
for.
One source at the Harris Friends and
Peace
Family
out.
Party says, quote, her path
Catch
is
you
so
guys
narrow
tomorrow.
that she
We
is
all
not
got
doing
work,
what
so
she needs to do in
I don't
Pennsylvania,
think about going to bed.
Michigan,